Anxiety is when our body is more charged up than the situation calls for. There's tension building up, muscles are working against themselves. Sometimes we get the shakes, we might break out into a sweat. Our mind is hard to focus and concentrate and jumps all over the place. And panic attacks are a severe form of anxiety, and from my experience, I would say that panic attacks are probably the most frightening experience that anyone can have, including trauma. And I've worked a lot with people in post-traumatic stress, even people who've been in severely traumatic situations in war and even who've been tortured. But I don't know that anything is more frightening than a panic attack, because it feels like we have no control. And even when someone is being tortured, they can make choices, and they have very limited control, and of course it's very uncomfortable. But a panic attack, it feels like you have no choice. It feels like your body is running away from you and out of control, and the more you try to control it, the more frightening it becomes. There's an interesting thing about panic attacks that I've noticed, and I've been treating them now since 1977. And that's that I've never heard of anyone having serious damage as a result of a panic attack. And you might think of all the stress that it puts on your heart, that it could cause a heart attack or a stroke or something like that. But in all that time, and any of the doctors I've worked with or talked to, they've never told me about anyone who's had a serious medical problem as a result of a panic attack.
The original and still best description of panic attacks and panic disorder dates back to 1895, 121 years ago, by Sigmund Freud. The current psychiatric description has not changed much. Freud described anxiety attacks accompanied by palpitations, chest pain, disturbances of respiration, attacks resembling asthma, sweating, tremors, vertigo, GI symptoms like explosive diarrhea, or pins and needles. Patients often begin experiencing panic attacks following a traumatic experience, such as a death or a divorce. Patients with panic disorder may experience attacks of sudden anxiety and terror and fear of annihilation. This can sometimes lead to extreme sadness, frank depression, or low spirits, as well as agoraphobia, a fear of being in a place or situation from which there is no escape. However, just like Freud pointed out, panic attacks are not necessarily accompanied by conscious anxiety or fear. Patients may suffer from strictly physical symptoms, chest pain, migraine attacks, diarrhea, and such. As a consequence, the patients with the most disabling physical anxiety symptoms are almost never seen by psychiatrists, but by other medical specialists who may find themselves at a loss as to how to diagnose and to treat the underlying anxiety disorder. It is therefore important for proper diagnosis to see an experienced medical professional who is aware of these complexities. It is equally important to see a psychiatrist who offers a spectrum of treatment modalities beyond simple pharmacology and is conversant with psychotherapeutic approaches.